And it's crazy how the psychology behind that works, because you can get scammed a lot of times, thinking that just because I paid for this means it's got value in it. I'll share with you a funny story about this guy who uh, really wanted to learn how to play the guitar, and so he's worked all summer. He was a teenager. He worked all summer, vacation, as well as the winters, and saved up every single one of his paychecks so that he could save up enough to go and get a guitar. And after about 7 to 8 months of saving nonstop, he finally had enough money that he thought would be enough to get him a guitar. And he goes to the music shop that sells musical instruments, and he went and asked for a guitar. And the guy said, "Well, this one is going to be about $3,000." And he said, "Damn it, I only got 2,700." And he's like, "Well, you know what? Because you seem like the type of person who really wants it, I'm going to give it to you for $2,700." And so now this guy goes back home and he's extremely happy. He's like, "You know what? I got a deal. I paid 2,700 for this, even though it was 3,000. But I'm gonna learn, because this is what I wanted to do all my life. So now I'm gonna really take lessons, guitar lessons, and I'm gonna teach myself how to play a guitar." Well, fast forward 2 years down the road, he's gotten a pretty good grip on the guitar, and he feels like he could play a few of his favorite songs on the guitar now. And he decides, he's gonna show off his talent a little bit. And he invites his family over, and he invites some of his close friends over, and he plays for them, nonstop, with back-to-back few tracks, and he gets a good response from everyone. They're like, "Wow, you really came a long way from not knowing how to play to now playing all your favorite music." And so one thing led to another, and one of his close friends, asked him, "Well, how much did you pay for the guitar, if you don't mind me asking?" And he said, "You won't believe it. It's a crazy story. I was saving up for this, and I didn't. I thought I had enough, but I didn't quite. And so the shopkeeper cut me a deal, and instead of 3,000, he gave it to me for 2,700. And what a nice guy! I can't believe he gave me a deal." And so his cousin looks back at him, and he's like, "I don't mean to disappoint you, but if you had asked me, I could have gotten it to you for $2,000." And another friend of theirs who was standing nearby also hears him and says, "Seriously, yeah, same here. I could probably get it to you for even less than $2,000." So, and so, a few other people tell him something similar. And so all of a sudden, that whole ceremony of showing off his talent and being happy about having that instrument, as well as knowing how to play one of his favorite instruments, all of a sudden turned from being a special occasion to now him feeling like he got scammed, right? The moral of the story, or the takeaway message, is that it's like sometimes it's better to not know whether you got scammed or not. I don't know. I mean, you make whatever you want out of the story. I just thought it was interesting, and that had he not discussed the price, he would have still had his special moment, the moment that he was looking forward to for 2+3+ years, right? And also, you really don't know how much truth there is to your cousin or your close friend telling you that they could get it to you for much cheaper, right? Just food for thought, and take it with a grain of salt, of course. Christmas Eve is tomorrow, and can't believe this whole year just flew by. I'm sure I'm not the only one who felt like this whole year just was not only very unexpected, but besides all the craziness that happened in it, that there was some kind of positive slash, rewarding outcome that came from it. And I know we keep seeing memes all over the internet where people are saying, 2020 be over already, we're ready for 2021. But I think 2020 taught us some really important and really valuable lessons. And sometimes the misfortune that we go through, it really ends up being the blessing in disguise that we needed, right? So, had there been, I'll get a little personal. Um, well, had there been no massive layoffs in my previous company, and and had I not been laid off from my job, I probably would still be working there. Um, and that sounds all handy dandy, um, well, why would you not want to? I'm not saying it was a bad job. I'm just saying that I probably would not have been doing what I'm doing right now. I got my own business that's up and running. Um, we provide digital marketing for real estate agents. Just a shout out to any realtors who are listening to this. We provide, uh, social media marketing as well as website development and all kinds of crazy tools that real estate agents can utilize to really leverage their online presence. And besides that, I'm also doing a lot of stuff that I enjoy, especially like creating videos and editing them and editing sounds, graphic designing, and I'll be honest, hopefully this doesn't work against me, but like, it's one thing being fascinated about something, and it's another, just getting your hands on it and getting down and dirty with it, right? Really getting behind the logistics of how a lot of this is done. And when you do that, and you notice that, wow, you're really doing it, well, then you're really able to appreciate and look back and say that, whatever happened perhaps not only happened for a reason, but regardless of the downsides, I was still able to come out of it strong, thanks to my wife, thanks to my family. Throughout this whole process, I couldn't tell you how supportive, not only supportive, but encouraging, and probably the force behind a lot of that happened in this year. Uh, you know, and I could say this without a doubt that um, had it not been for her, I would have had a really tough time, just like coming to grips with the reality of not having a job, as well as the COVID pandemic being hit, and opportunities even going down further because of that, right? Um, so we always in life have a lot to be grateful for, and I'm grateful for my wife. It's snowing quite a lot up in Toronto, so oftentimes having a white Christmas is just something that people wish for, and more often than not, it doesn't happen. And I hear that it's been snowing pretty regularly for the last month. So, and I've also heard that the winters are going to be pretty heavy this year around. So that's something to think about. In my last blog, I said that we were not quite sure about what to make of this vaccine, and that the frontline workers are going to be administered the vaccine before any of us are, and I use the term guinea pigs. Well, I just want to say sorry if I offended anybody, but sorry if I offended you, and but I hope you're able to look past the term and and see what I was trying to say. No hard feelings. It is what it is, and I think regardless of whichever vaccine ends up getting approved, I think none of us are going to have an option at the end of the day when we will all be administered that same vaccine. So it better be a good one.